Greetings, YouTube. This is your boy VC from Village Circle News. Just wanted to take a moment and kind of address this whole thing with Jesse Williams that's been in the news here lately. We strive to really make sure that we put forth the viewpoint of the African American community, and I know that this, his speech on YouTube, or not on YouTube, but on BET rather, was upsetting to some, but really for those of us who are Black, African American, and the list goes on and on. Jesse didn't do anything really except say what we all been thinking. And I appreciate him for that. I think it was very bold of him to get up there on that kind of stage with those kind of people and say what he said. And he's making good money. I'm sure he lives comfortably and could do other things with his money. And he could move on and not say a word about the situation that many Black people found themselves in today. And so I think he's to be commended for that, for speaking up. Really, I think the time to be quiet is over. It's really not a matter of how many marches you're going to do, how many blogs you're going to write, how many videos you're going to post about the situation. I read a comment on MSN the other day that says the revolution will be televised. And the fact of the matter is, the revolution will not be televised. That's still, I think that's still a very accurate statement, because what it is the spirit. There's a spirit of rise up that's coming forth out of the Black community, and I think a lot of people like to dance around the issue. They like to tease at the issue, but they don't like to just make their feelings known. They don't like to just say what it is. I have more respect, I think, for a white person who would say, look, I don't agree with the way Black people feel because X, Y, Z. Than somebody who kind of, just says, well, and kind of, sort of, and if we all would just, no. I have more respect for somebody who knows where they stand and are willing to state that. And I think part of what's happening now is that Black people have come to this point where they're just like, look, it is what it is. You've had more than enough time to get justice, to deliver on justice, to deliver on what you said you're going to deliver on. And now you have this feeling of unity that's kind of sweeping the nation now, where people are more focused on race issues. And some people would say that, well, that's just media propaganda to take people's attention off the issues that matter. But if you're Black in the United States, these issues have been important to you and have mattered to you your whole life, to some degree or another. I don't know a single Black person whose lives have not been impacted by police brutality, by failure of the justice system, by failure or the lack of equal protection under the law, and the list goes on and on. I had some co-workers of mine who called the cops on a Black guy who was just sitting in a car with his baby across the street because they felt uncomfortable with the fact that he was just sitting in his car looking around. And a minute or two later, after they called the police, his wife or girlfriend, whoever it was, came out of the credit union across the street, got in the car, and they were trying to drive away, but they got stopped by the cops because my coworkers were just uncomfortable. And so this is really what white supremacy is all about. It's really, does it make white people uncomfortable? And I think that's really what Jesse Williams' speech really did. It made a lot of white people uncomfortable. But my response to that is, your comfort is no longer our obligation. So, you do whatever you have to do to make yourself comfortable. And we're going to do whatever it is that we need to do to make sure that we're comfortable. Now, if we can both live with the process that it takes to make each other comfortable, then so be it. But if our comfort makes you uncomfortable, then guess what? It's just your turn to be uncomfortable. And I really don't care how you feel about that. I think that's the truth, and that's how I'm going to say it. So give me some feedback on you guys. Give me some feedback on what you think about Jesse Williams' speech. Was he just a hate monger, or was he playing a race card, or do you really think that this was simply a man who knows what time it is in the community and was just saying what everybody else was afraid not to say? And that's something else. Why are you afraid to speak? Why are you afraid to speak the truth? Yeah, it's gonna land you criticism and persecution. But I would say to you, don't be afraid to speak the truth, regardless of the consequences, because it's time now. The truth is the truth, and it's going to stand on its own. And if the truth makes you uncomfortable, then perhaps you've been living a lie. But right now, family, that's all I have for today. Just wanted to put that out there because I've seen some articles on MSN and other news sources saying that there's some petition going around now. They want him fired from his job on Grey's Anatomy for hate speech. I'm looking at the transcript of his speech now, and there is literally nothing in here about speech. I mean, he got strong with the cops and said either they're going to give us justice or here, let me find it because I don't want to be misquoted here. The brother got a little strong, but that's just what it is. I mean, and that's really how black people feel. Told some people to just sit down. Yeah, stand up or sit down, man. This is, if you're not about bringing justice or speaking the truth, you're just wasting time. You're wasting airtime, wasting everybody else's time. Well, let's see here. Let's see. Well, I can't find it right now at this particular time, but I think that it's just, I think that's probably the quote that really got people all beside themselves. Here it is. So he went on to say at the beginning of his speech, now what we've been doing is looking at the data, and we know that police somehow manage to de-escalate, disarm, and not kill white people every day. So what's going to happen is we're going to have equal rights and justice in our own country, or we will restructure their function and ours. Now you read into that whatever you want to read into that. What exactly does restructuring look like? It is to you whatever it is to you. Now, does that mean we're going to go and reform, the Black Panthers? Maybe. In some instances that may be necessary. And for those of you who still haven't figured out who the Black Panthers really were and what they really did, I suggest you do a little research and stop watching the news in order to find out exactly, to get all your knowledge and information. I mean, you need to diversify your sources in order to find out the truth. So when I say Black Panthers, people, don't get scared. But yeah, I mean, I would be completely down with another organization coming to the forefront like the Black Panthers, who were really more about community service than anything else. I mean, they had guns for self-defense, but Black people with guns, that's a recipe for disaster. well, it hasn't really worked out very well with just white people having guns. So I feel like, if the Second Amendment is out there, it should apply to everybody. And if you're black, I would encourage you to exercise your Second Amendment rights and purchase a firearm for your own protection and that of your family. Um, and I know a lot of people have feelings on this, especially in the black community, in terms of owning weapons and things like that. But the fact of the matter is, um, you're not going to be able to stop somebody from doing you harm by calling the cops or just talking to them. So, if there's a resurgence of some sort of anti-black group and they want to do whatever it is they need to do, or they feel like they need to do, then you should have the means to defend yourself effectively. That's a personal sentiment, and I encourage everybody else to make a decision like that. Really, think that one through and determine how important it is to you. But this video is already kind of gone off on a tangent. I do apologize. Sometimes I get a little bit impassioned with these things, and I just say whatever. Kind of got a little stream of consciousness thing going on. But if you haven't seen the video already, I'm going to post a link below down in the description, and really just share your thoughts on the situation. Do you think he was out of line? Do you think it was hate speech, or do you really think that it's just the spirit of the people at this particular point? Which is just tired of that. So I look forward to your comments down below. Strength and honor, peace and blessings to you and yours. And I'm VC for Village Circle News. We'll catch you in the next one.